Let me welcome you to the 38th Annual Reverend J.T. Menifee Citywide Cleanup Media Event. Thank you all for being here today. As you may recall from the past, we've talked about that some in the past, but this was first held in 1988. That time, Tom McMahon was our mayor in the city, and the Reverend Menifee had the idea of creating this, at the time, what was going to be the West Side cleanup. And so he brought together a lot of folks to work on that. And then we've carried on that tradition. I'm the fifth mayor now of our community to carry on the great tradition. And we've expanded it over the years, of course, from the West Side all the way to make it a citywide cleanup, which encompasses the entire city. And so we want to say thank you. That obviously would not be possible if not for all of you that are sitting here today, and those of you who came before you, who stepped into your shoes in the past and took care of making sure that we did the things that we need to do to keep our community clean. I'd also like to thank Darla Salih and her faithful committee, who annually works together with all of us to help make this happen. I'd also like to thank and acknowledge the fellows that are here from Best Way Disposal. As you know, Best Way is our city refuge collector here for the community, has been now for several years. They do a great job, and they always partner with us on this event and help make sure that we get our stuff picked up right away. As you know, last year, if you participated, that by 4 o'clock, which this event runs from 8 to 4, Darla will give more detail about this here in a little bit, but by 4 o'clock, I mean, we literally were cleaned up and ready to go and done. And that wouldn't have happened but for the hard work and good efforts of everybody that came together, but particularly Best Way, who continually moves dumpsters in and out throughout the day as we're doing this. So we want to thank them as well. As I said, this event is named for the late Reverend J.T. Menifee. It's held in his honor each year. Again, as I said, he organized the event originally. He passed, unfortunately, back in 1998. He was 87 years of age. That was 27 years ago. He'd be 114 today. But he certainly has left behind a great legacy. And I have another young man that's going to come up and speak in a few minutes that I'm going to introduce. And when I do, he'll tell you a little bit more about Reverend Menifee's legacy and what else he did for the community. He did much more than just start this great event, but he was much more of a meaningful mark in our community than just that event by itself. In fact, in February of 2008, Chris Ackerman, who was mayor of the city at that time, utilized his executive authority to rename what is known as the Y Street. Part of that street was renamed the J.T. Menifee Street, and it runs in front of Mr. Reverend Menifee's church, Zion Baptist Church. So I ask, as we come together today, that we remember and honor J.T. Menifee for everything that he did to help our community be a better place to live. And I ask, of course, all of you join me, along with most of you, on October 4th as we continue to work to keep our community a nice, clean, safe place to live and do business. And I would ask also that the folks watching at home in particular, keep in mind that this day is a great day to clean out your garages, to get the stuff out of your sheds, to maybe get some things out of the yard that shouldn't be there, and to bring them over to the location that Darla is going to explain later. You'll also have the opportunity to leave a limited number of things out in front of your residence, so long as you call in by noon to the street department on the 3rd, and Darla will tell you a little bit about that too. But the primary thing is to keep it clean throughout the entire year. We're very fortunate to have had over the last several years do a lot of hard work to keep our community looking better each and every year. I want to thank the folks in our code enforcement team with the municipal development, our building commissioner Todd Fisher and his entire team for all they do as far as working to enforce the codes. We try to do that in a way to give folks an opportunity to clean up blighted areas that have become in a state of disrepair. But of course, if they don't do that, then we work with the court systems to make sure that gets done as well. We've been able, over the last several years, tear down over 300 plus blighted homes. We've been able to replace many of those using partnerships with groups such as Habitat for Humanity and our own ACDC to be able to replace them with infill housing. We've also been able to turn some of those areas into nice green spaces that are much safer and cleaner for the neighborhoods. And also we've been able to provide some properties to some different entities to create pocket parks for kids to play in. So we continue to move forward by making our city clean and a great place to live. And we couldn't do it without events such as this. So again, I ask you all to join us between 8 and 4 o'clock on Saturday, the 4th of October, and we'll work together side by side in order to continue to move Anderson in the right direction. Now, again, Darla will give a little bit more detail later, but before she does, it's my honor today to introduce a gentleman who himself has his own legacy that has been created over the years. In fact, he just recently, this most recent weekend, celebrated his 34 years of pastoral anniversary along with his First Lady and his wife, Martha Woodall. And he has been a major part of our community as well. He was a friend and a colleague of Reverend Menifee, and he is here to give us a little bit of information with respect to Reverend Menifee. So it's my pleasure, and I'd ask you to give a warm welcome to Reverend Dr. Edgar Woodall. Doctor.
Thank you, Mayor Broadwick. It's a blessing to be here on today. I want to say good morning to everyone. It's good to be here again. I'm Edgar Woodall, as you've already heard. I'm pastor of the Friendship Missionary Baptist Church here in the city of Anderson, and I currently serve in the capacity of vice chairman of the Martin Luther King Memorial Commission. It's my assignment today to speak on behalf of the commission in the absence of Reverend Wayne Redding, who is out of town due to some national events that he's involved in with his church. Reverend Redding, I want you to know we're praying that all is well with you and those who are traveling with you. Let me take this time to say thank you to the efforts of Mrs. Jill McMillan, who contacted me and made sure that I was in place today. So I'm glad to be here and thankful for her contact and staying in touch with me. To Mayor Broderick and to all of those who are working on today and those who will be working on Saturday, October 4, 2025, early in the morning, 8 o'clock a.m. To 4 p.m. I'm glad to share for just a few moments today in an effort to honor posthumously a man who is largely responsible for the unveiling of the ultimate placement of the MLK statue that is in the center of the Martin Luther King Park, which is located at Madison Avenue and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Reverend Redding regrets that there was a conflict in the dates in his scheduling of the meetings as he's attending those things that he doing what he has to do. And he sends his love and prayers and blessings for this occasion. I thank him for having enough faith in me to come and to represent the commission and him on today. If it's acceptable with you, I'd like to spend the next few moments sharing excerpts from the project history, and certainly I would be remiss if I did not mention Reverend Dr. J.T. Menifee, who worked tirelessly to assure the placement of the MLK statue, which we could enjoy if it had not been for the masterful artwork of professional sculptor, Mr. Kenneth G. Ryden. The statue was inscribed with the following words: Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., 1929 through 1968 by Kenneth G. Ryden, dedicated October 22, 1988. The following words appear thereon. I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream. At that time, it was resolute at 22nd Street and Madison Avenue. However, 22nd Street later became Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. From humble beginnings as early as 1985, the regional urban design assistant team, better known as the RUDAT team, which was a consulting group in the city of Anderson, got busy with the RUDAT study. Reverend J.T. Menifee, pastor of the Anderson Zion Missionary Baptist Church, stated at the meeting that he desired to see the city of Anderson's administration allocate funds for beautifying the city's west side. He suggested that the city provide funds to accomplish this goal. He continued saying we should have something in place that we could be proud of in our neighborhood. He continued explaining the Black community is not along the river, therefore it does not meet the necessary criteria for grant funding. At that time, Reverend Menifee was referencing the grant for the White River Development Project. Then Mayor Thomas McMahon responded to that request by inviting the ministers to meet with him to further discuss their concerns. The initial group consisted of Reverends J.T. Menifee, Ray Wright, John Anderson, Samuel King, and messengers James Abraham, Mac Reese, and Charles Gardner. All other ministers and pastors from the West Side were invited as well to the next meeting to show their support. A committee was formed with 3 objectives in mind. Those objectives are to list projects that would enhance the West Side. Secondly, to solicit community support. And finally, to identify financial resources for suggested improvements. Now, this committee determined an effective long-range use of the funds could be realized through the development of a lasting memorial in honor of the great American Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A statue was to be erected through using private sector funds raised by the committee, which became known as the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Commission. Thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King, for your dream. Certainly your words that still ring in our hearts when you said, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Those words still resonate with us today because only God is the true and final judge. Thank you, Reverend J.T. Menifee, for assuring that the statue was erected and it still stands in honor of Dr. King. Even so, we would be remiss if we did not take this very moment of which you are so deserving to honor you. Would you please join me in honoring Reverend J.T. Menifee and showing him some love at this time? God bless you.
Thank you very much, and please give another warm welcome and thanks, if you would please, to Dr. Woodall. So the next person that I would like to have come up is also a familiar face to our community. Darla Salih is an individual who years ago now, it's hard to believe, but worked with Anderson TV along with Chet Green, who's now been joined by Oscar Corral, who's also on our second camera today. Thank you guys for what you do. When Darla had the opportunity to go down and lead the ASO, the Anderson Symphony Orchestra, we spoke, and she was willing to graciously give of her time back to the city, as she had already been doing, in order to help us continue to put on some of our great city events that we have annually. And she has continued to do that, even though she also, of course, leads ASO. But she's been the leader of our committees that have helped put on our Independence Day parade and celebration. For example, the Christmas parade and event, which is coming up, by the way. I hope you're getting ready for that. As well as just recently carrying off the very successful Anderson Downtown Gaslight Festival, again for I think the third year in a row since it's coming back to life. And so she's breathed that life back into it, and we thank her for what she has done on that. And then, of course, in her spare time, as well as being a mother and a grandmother, she also, along with her husband, Gary, have invested heavily into our community by rehabbing and refurbishing the iconic Toast restaurant downtown. If you haven't visited, you'll want to do that. But thank you, Darla, for what you do for our community. And on that long list of things includes being the chairperson of this event that we're going to have here on October 4th. So I'll have Darla Salih come up, and Darla come up and tell us a little bit more details. Thank you. Give her a big hand.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, very much. Good morning. It is that time of year again, isn't it? We have 3 sites again this year, and I want to go over each of those sites with you so you know exactly what you can dispose of at which location. So our main site will once again this year be at MLK and 29th Street. That's a free drop-off site for general garbage, your large items, furniture, appliances, grills, TVs, electronics, batteries, tires, unwanted items, and your paint. So that is over there off of 29th Street, right across from Cermax. There are fees for some of those items, so I will go through those with you. Just a reminder, though, we haven't charged any more on any of those fees since 2019, so those are all the same fees as we're used to. So the first one is $1 per paint can. If you're dropping off your paint, be sure that you bring cash only for all of these, and that you have your proof of your City of Anderson residency ready to go when you enter over on this site at MLK and 29th. So $1 per paint can, $5 for a TV that's 32 inches or smaller, $10 for TVs that are over 32 inches, $2 for small single tires, $5 for a set of 4 small tires, and then $5 for large tires. Please remember that those tires must be removed from the rim. They won't accept them if they're not removed from the rim. Again, that's cash only, and you'll need a proof of your City of Anderson residency. That's the MLK and 25th Street location, and that's our main site. Our second site is at 8th and Dewey Street, and that is for yard waste drop-off only. No household items there, no trash. All of these sites are open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our third site is Columbus and 24th Street at that location. This is also a free drop-off site for your large items, for furniture, appliances, grills, household items, those kinds of things. This site, however, does not accept tires, paint, or TVs. Those have to go to the MLK and 25th Street location where we're prepared to accept those. And then finally, after those 3 locations, you have the option to schedule curbside heavy pickup items if you need to do so. We cannot come onto your property or onto your porch or into your home to pick up any of those items, so you must bring them to the curb. You can have up to 3 heavy items for us to pick up, and we're happy to do that for you. In order to take advantage of that service, you must call Chris Fisher and sign up for that and I'm going to give you the phone number twice so you have it. It's 765-648-6445. 648-6445. And you're calling Chris Fisher to get on the list, and you must do that by October 3rd at 12 noon. Afternoon, we cannot take any more call-ins because Chris has to get the map ready for the street department to be able to go and pick up all of those items. So please be sure to follow that deadline and call in by the day before the cleanup on October 3rd at noon. We cannot pick up TVs, tires, or paint. Again, if you have those items, you will need to bring those to MLK and 25th. That's the only location for those items. We'd love to have volunteer groups join us on October 4th from 8 to 4. You can call again Chris Fisher at 648-6445 to register cleanup groups. We'd love to see your youth group, your church group, your civic organizations. We'd love to have you join us. We'll have t-shirts for you. We'll feed you lunch at noon at the MLK and 25th Street site, and we'll have gloves, water, trash bags, and safety vests for you to wear while you are picking up and cleaning up various areas of the city. We'll have assignments ready for you, and we'll disperse those to you so that you can go to those locations and clean, and then meet us back at the MLK site once that one's finished, and we'll be sure to give you another site to go over and clean. Again, lunch is provided for volunteers at noon at 25th and MLK. If you have any other questions, be sure to look at the City of Anderson website for all information. And again, if you want to schedule that heavy item pickup on your curb, or if you want to register to volunteer, you're going to call 765-648-6445. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Darla. Thank you so much. Now you can see why I was so happy to accept Darla's offer to continue to help us out. Yeah, and just to let everybody know, there really isn't apparently anything too big or too small to bring. I remember one year somebody brought a hot tub, a full-size hot tub, didn't have the water in it, but it was plenty heavy. And then the best one, I think, was the folks that brought a boat and drug it without the trailer. I just drug the boat across the ground, and it was interesting. But anyway, so definitely get rid of your stuff. It's your opportunity to do that, and get a little more emphasis that, so if you've got a trailer, you've got a truck, load it up, fill it up, and when you come to one of these sites that Darla mentioned, we'll have volunteers there that will help you to unload it. So you can obviously help unload it as well, but we will help you, and then that way you can be along your way and even go back and have time to pick up another load or two and bring it back, and really a real opportunity to get things cleaned up here. Again, none of this could be done without all of you, and I would just like to quickly read again those departments in the city, and if I miss somebody, I certainly apologize, but everything from our young ladies and men down in our utility office downstairs who help volunteer and come forward and work with us each year, our maintenance department, who also helped set up all this here today, our engineering department, of course, our street department, the park department, water pollution control, Anderson TV, our controller's office, personnel department, our board of works, our police and fire departments, our legal department, our civil and human rights department, our IT department, also our economic development department, our community development department, the City of Anderson Clerk's Office, and Sheila Ashley and her team of folks often help, as well as our airport, and also, of course, the mayor's office. So I want to thank all those departments and all the folks in the city that take out your time to do this. I also want to thank and acknowledge Ken Delabasti from the Herald Bulletin, who I don't think's ever missed one of these conferences, and we appreciate, Ken, your being here and covering our city. And we know you're going to be around for many, 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 many more years to come, right? You promise that. Ken knows the history of our community, and he does a great job reporting, and we appreciate your being here. And since you are here, do you have any question that you'd like to ask?
Do you know how much was collected last year?
Darla, do you remember that number? It was huge, or maybe some of the guys in Best Way do.
How much?
200 tons.
200 tons, so, and that, part of that was a boat. No, I'm just kidding. So, but yeah, it's a lot. It's amazing, really, the stuff people bring in. So, anything else, Ken?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, I do have a question.
Yes.
You said this is the 38th year?
Yes, I believe so.
For some reason, I think it was the 39th.
Well,
There was none during COVID.
we did skip COVID year. We did skip that year, so that may be. I think if we did the subtraction problem, it'd probably come out to be that. But since we skipped COVID, we did not get together that year. But thank you again for all being here. Thank you, ladies and folks that put together our food out here. Just keep in mind, we do still have some juice and coffee and some donuts. So thank you, Julie. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Patty. Thank you guys for everything you do. We appreciate it very much. So you may all go get something to eat. And thank you again, and we'll see you on October 4th. Thank you.